So the latest news with Jon Jones being reported, and let's not make no mistake, I'm not the one reporting it, so I know I got some heat before. Like I said, I just kind of comment on stuff. It's rumors, it's fun, things like that. The latest news now that instead of a lengthy suspension, there's just going to be a hefty fine. I saw numbers floating around in the millions of dollars. I don't know how I feel about that. Don't get me wrong. I've said this before. I'm just as excited to see Jon Jones back in the octagon as much as anybody else, right? So this doesn't come from that place. I guess it comes from a place of fairness, right? Is it really fair that he just pays off a hefty fine? Don't get me wrong. Obviously, millions of dollars. I'm not saying it's chump change, and I'm not saying that it's not. It is a big deal, right? But they had established rules. The more violations that you incur, the more time that is added onto the suspension. He's already had the 1 year. They talked about floating around the 2 year and the 4 year and stuff like that. It kind of gives the impression that USADA can be bought off. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying that it gives that impression. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the whole story. I'm not pretending to report on the whole story. I've heard several big YouTube names and websites report on it. You know who they are. I just find it fascinating. It's kind of a catch-22, right? At the same time, we want to see Jon Jones come back, but do we want to compromise the USADA program? Is that something we're willing to do? If it does happen like this, mind you, like I said, I don't know. If it does happen to where it's just a hefty fine, he pays it off, he comes back for UFC 230, faces whoever, does it set a precedent now that if you're a big enough name and have enough money, you can basically buy out the suspension? I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I think it's just something guys stay tuned for.